Hello, my name is Andy Gunner. Today I will be speaking about wind turbine energy power generation and how our country needs to ensure that we transition to this technology at a cautious rate. As the rate of global energy consumption continues to rise, the use of alternative energy sources such as wind turbines continue to become a more prevalent source of power. However, countries like Germany, one of the largest wind turbine users, are now having issues keeping their energy production stable and finding ways to finance their power generation.
As the slide notes, there has been a rapid increase over the past 5 years in global capacity.
As our transition to wind power progresses, we need to be diligent in ensuring that the technology is cost efficient so we do not create a crisis in our country such as Germany has created. We spent numerous years on energy conservation and alternative energy fields, working with local energy suppliers to not only bring these technologies forward, but also to increase the reliability of wind power. Wind power is one of many alternative energy sources that is helping to offset the need for nuclear and fossil fuel generation plants. This transition, however, must be made gradually. There are many issues straining the development of the technology that must be addressed for it to become a fully viable resource. Today I will discuss why we need to use caution as we transition to alternative energy sources. Issues such as capacity instability and output levels, transmission problems, and financing the technology continue to be of concern. Instability in wind generation is one of the primary issues. This is of concern because there is a relatively small window of wind speed that is usable. Anything higher or lower outside of this range does not allow for proper production. A 2012 issue of the Telegraph, accessed on March 24, 2014, noted that Germany's actual output varies from 100% down to 25% or lower. Germany currently has 29 gigawatts of capacity at 100%, but their actual output from these wind turbine farms is nearly 5 gigawatts. Wind energy is clean when compared to coal. However, when wind is running at 100% capacity, the backup power, which is nuclear or fossil fuel, must run very inefficiently at lower speeds. Instability is only one issue that has plagued wind power. Transmission of power from wind farms to the grid is also another point of concern. Most farms are rural. There's an increased cost to transmit that power from the rural areas to the power grid. Offshoring, or using offshore wind currents, has also increased higher output due to constant wind. However, this is restricted by cabling underwater to transmit the power to the grid. This can disrupt shipping lanes and also aquatic life. The increase for burying the underwater cabling is quite extensive also.
This image shows an offshore wind farm. These farms can grow as large as hundreds of square miles.
Land wind farms also have some of these issues. They also take up large tracts of land. There's reduced waste compared to other current methods, but the waste is still there. In an excerpt from the book Environmentally Conscious Alternative Energy Production, micrositing, or optimizing the placement of these wind farms, does help reduce these effects. Wind farms also disrupt habitats and bird flight patterns. In a 2008 article by Bioscience, Michael Fry, an American Bird Conservancy director, estimated that nearly 100,000 birds are killed nationwide in the United States. This will continue to increase. This number will continue to increase as the number of wind farms are increased. Like capacity and consistency, or capacity, and transmission concerns, the cost of development and the rate of transition to wind power is also a large concern. There is a high cost of technology and a slow return on investment. This caused investor backout in Germany. What this means to you as the end user of this energy is that as investors back out, the cost to develop the technology is still there. That those additional charges will likely be a surcharge and end up as a surcharge in your power bill. An August 2013 Forbes article accessed on March 24th, 2014 noted that although Germany has one of the largest wind generation capacities in the world, the German household also pays one of the highest rates for power in Europe. In a September 2013 Spiegel magazine article, Germany's energy minister noted a 20% hike in renewable energy surcharges. It is estimated that Germans pay an energy surcharge of nearly $27 billion per year to subsidize their wind farms. After the Japanese Fukushima nuclear power generation plant meltdown, Germany's government incited a moratorium on any new builds of nuclear plants, and also decided to move away from any nuclear power generation by 2022. This resulted in a $250 billion investment in renewable energies. As private investors began to back out of things like offshore wind farms due to the high cost and unstable use, new fossil plants needed to be both designed and brought online to cover the expected capacity loss from those offshore farms. Wind power is one of many alternative energy sources that is helping to offset the need for nuclear and fossil fuel generation plants. This transition must be made gradually. There are many issues straining the development of the technology that must be addressed for it to become a fully viable resource. Today we discussed instability in wind capacity levels, transmission problems, and financing of the current technology concerns. As we continue to increase our global energy consumption, we must strive to employ alternative energy applications that are not only ecologically friendly, but also cost effective. Thank you for your time today.